What's up, guys? Jack and
Chris.
from Half Chrome, and we're going to tell you a little bit about our Mach-Es. We both have them, obviously, and there are a handful of things that we've purchased to kind of make our experience a little bit better.
Some of these things are really inexpensive and easy to install.
And some of these may be a little bit more involved, but quality of life upgrades.
It just started raining on us just now, so we're going to jump in the cars, drive around, and tell you what we've bought for our Mach-Es.
So let's go.
Okay, so accessory number one to upgrade is easy upgrade that rear wiper blade.
All right, so the first thing I think I would actually change, super simple, the wiper blade in the back. I don't know why, but it's 11 inches. It doesn't cover a good portion of the rear window when it's raining. The 15 inch is an easy upgrade, 15 bucks. There are two, I think it's Trico or Bosch. You have to make sure you're getting a rear wiper, but super easy install, super easy upgrade. Clean that back window, 15 bucks.
Number two, pick up a charging adapter. You may need it.
Chris, where are we going?
All right, we are headed for the first time to a Tesla charger. You're going to experience our lack of expertise in this area. Probably should have researched this better. I've had charging adapters for Tesla for over a year now, and I have never used them, so they're past their return cycle. Wanted them in case I'm out and about and I really need a charge. Never have needed them. I charge at work, I charge at home, and I don't go on road trips. So this is our first time trying them. We're gonna sort this out. I have two different adapters. I've got one that uses just the...
Okay, while he struggles to find the names of these adapters, I wouldn't have figured it out. We need an NACS to CCS adapter for the Tesla Supercharger. The other adapter is an NACS to J1772 converter, and that's if you're charging your Mach-E at your buddy's house who happens to have a Tesla. It's a lot less expensive.
So I'm assuming today we're going to hook up to the Tesla charger, use the full capabilities, level 3, and maybe put 10-20% on this car for a few minutes. So we're going to play around with that. I'm guessing I'm going to have to set up some kind of Tesla account or something to be able to do this. We'll use Jack's credit card, of course.
We'll use the company card.
We'll get that going.
All right, we are trying to figure out how to charge the Mach-E here.
So, yeah, I just went into the Ford app on charging. Well, Jack found some button, find public.
I feel like there's got to be an easier way to do this.
Maybe zoom in to our location, 10 of 12. Charge here. 65 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, that's great. So it found it for us. Should we just plug in and see what happens?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we made it to the Tesla charging station, but we're not sure what to do, even though we have the right adapter.
Oh, wow.
It's not
extra long, huh?
You got to get closer.
Dude. Need like an extra 3 inches. That's what she said.
So Chris is going to move the car a little closer, and it's soon apparent that we probably should have done some more research.
What are you doing?
Now try.
Let's see what happens.
You got to pull the lever down.
Oh, that's important. There we go. Blue, that's
Okay,
good.
so now it's blue.
Blinking. Not blinking.
All right, now you got to figure out how to make it go.
I think I had to set up my credit card in the Ford app.
Yeah, so tip one before you go out to charge, set it all up. Set up the app, the Ford Pass, put your credit card on there, and then you can just charge. It actually can be easy.
Says it'll be done in 47 minutes.
To 80%.
Look at that.
Okay.
That's something. So I'm at 47 now.
Oh, it just dropped time. Now it's 3:25.
Holy smokes. That's 22 minutes from now. This is all in the Ford app. This is not using any kind of Tesla app or anything like that. So, plan ahead, but fast charging is going. The adapter, the whatever brand I said it was, is functioning. And it is fast charging. Just added 2% in a minute here.
All right, so we just ran to the Meijer to grab some supplies.
drinks. Now we're gonna go back and see where the Mach-E's at.
Not weird at all. A couple guys
No.
going
Oh.
to pick up baby wipes.
So baby wipes and drinks.
Do it. Holy moly. All right, already at 73%. This is definitely the fastest this car has ever been charged by a factor of like 5 or 10. So this is a great way to charge your car if you need some juice.
So let me break down what this means. This is a GT. We added 25% battery in about 15 minutes, meaning we added about 23 kilowatt hours. So that means we added somewhere between 65 and 75 miles of range to this car. So you're going to get somewhere between 4.5 to 5 miles added per minute.
Number 3, why do we run to the store? Pickup wipes. Keep that interior clean.
All right, Chris, grab a thing of wipes for the inside of our car.
This is the deal.
Yeah, let's
They
do
work
that.
the same.
So sure, we picked up some wipes for the interior of the car. Baby wipes are great. They're inexpensive. Make sure you get something without alcohol and fragrance, and you want to try and avoid something too goofy on the package. They fit really well there. Or of course, if you want to go Armor All wipes, they're a little bit better for your dash, but a little bit more expensive. And then of course, you have to stop by Chipotle and make sure you grab some extra napkins. Number 4, you have a really nice car. Keep it nice. Pick up some cleaning supplies.
I like Chemical Brother products. There are a few different kits. That's what I ordered on Amazon. And, you get the soap, you get the wheel cleaner, you get an interior cleaner. Definitely doable. You need a good mitt is what I like to use, or a rag, essentially. You need good towels. Towels that came in my kit, they're kind of small, so maybe upgrade there. Also, I have a power washer. Chris has a power washer. You get one with a soap attachment. You can really get the car clean. Power wash those wheels. That's a good use for the power washer, and it's nice to have a power washer around. I like the electric. My dad has a really awesome gas powered one, but it's huge and it's hefty, and just get a small electric one. It's great for the car. It's great for other things as well.
Number 5, pick up a dash cam. FitcamX specifically.
And why the FitcamX Cam?
FitcamX Cam, it has all the adapters you need. The install is just about 5 minutes. And it's a really good high quality camera. Had good reviews.
I mean, it's super clean. There are no wires. You don't see anything hanging down. It's just integrated. It looks factory, basically.
Yeah, it looks totally original. This is a really easy upgrade for under $200. There is an option for over $200 that'll get you a rear camera. That's a lot more work to put in. You're running wires through the root, through the ceiling here and stuff. Didn't want to mess with it. The FitcamX was pretty easy to set up. I'm not going to show you how to install it because there's plenty of other videos that do that. It is fairly simple. I don't know why they don't give you the extra cheap little 1-cent clips, because they are actually very difficult to get off of the old cover. But got it off with like screwdrivers and things, and popped them on there, and then the plug's really easy to do, really seamless, and the camera basically just worked. As you can see, it's finally coming up here. We're recording. It's a nice wide angle view, gets a little bit of the hood, gets plenty of the sky, but more importantly is the width here. You can see this car is like really off the corner, but it looks like it's in front of me. It's really, at this point, it's coming up. My hood is even with its rear bumper, my front bumper, and it still looks like it's in front of me. So really wide field of view on this camera. I haven't done anything with it yet. It does come with a 64 gig SD card that's branded FitcamX. Obviously, it's going to be good enough to record on the 1080 or the 4K. All those recording settings, you can even change lightness, brightness, and things like that. But I haven't messed with any of that.
Chris, why even bother getting a dash cam?
So got a dash cam for the Mach-E because despite the fact this thing is covered with cameras, they don't unlock that capability.
Number 6, you may want to upgrade your phone charger.
For me, the charging mat was not holding my phone or reliably charging my phone. So I got this initially, and it did a pretty good job. It holds the phone. It's not the fastest charging. Similarly, this guy here, it actually tells you in the instructions to run it off of like a cigarette lighter adapter. It will charge my phone. Not the world's fastest, but what I did is I just upgraded to this. It holds the phone up here, and also has a little compartment back there, maybe for some pens or something. Now you might wonder, you know, why have a phone holder for something that is so integrated here with the Apple CarPlay? You know, the answer is you don't. My main reason is like maybe one time out of 100, there's something I can do on my phone. For me specifically, it's something I shouldn't be doing, which is engaging in like Zoom or Microsoft Teams work meetings while in the car.
Which, of course, you're doing while you're parked.
Exactly.
Yes.
You need that. And, you know, smartly, Ford did not really make that easy to do. There is no Microsoft Teams capability really integrated other than audio into the screen itself. So if you have the need to actually do things like turn on your camera, this is handy. It is a little bit better placement. It does not interfere with my controls. Also, if I go horizontal, it does not interfere with my controls. It does cover some of the menu access up here a little bit. It's going to depend a little bit how close you sit to your screen. Also, I sit pretty much all the way back, so not a huge issue. I can still see the controls here as long as I angle my phone in a little bit. Overall, probably the right compromise.
Number 7, maybe a tow hitch.
Okay, so another option that you may want to consider is adding a tow hitch or a trailer hitch. Chris has one on the back of his Mach-E. I'm thinking about doing it myself. I've got a ton of e-bikes, and they're certainly not going to fit in the back of this. So I would love to just be able to put the e-bikes on the back of this thing. He may be adding like an actual trailer hitch to pull some things, but Chris did have to Dremel out a little bit of the plastic to get it to fit to the frame. So just kind of know you may have to modify a little bit to get it on, but you know, that's just going to give you more options if you need to tow something, or if you want, you know, to put some bikes on the back. Tow hitch, not super expensive, but adds to the possibilities of what you can do with this vehicle.
Number 8, make sure you have good floor mats.
Talking about the floor mats real quick. So we both bought our cars used. And when you do that, you always want to pay attention to the floor mat situation. There's a whole checklist of things you should go through. Floor mats is one of them. I honestly can't remember. I think mine came with fabric. Wanted more of a WeatherTech style, so I went and bought some on Amazon, but went with an off-brand. I'll put a link down in the description, or Jack will, for what the ones I bought. But yeah, just read the reviews. They tend to be quite good. No issues with mine. They're a little bit bigger than the stock rubber nice ones that they gave Jack. He asked for them. He's a little bit smarter than me, and they gave him some really nice Mustang branded, but they're rubber, kind of like a WeatherTech. Mine are a little bit more plasticky, but a little bit bigger, so arguably better protection, but really they're both great. Definitely worth upgrading over a fabric floor mat.
Number 9, there are some interior upgrades or accessories you may want to add.
All right, so a couple of things that I did, you know, I'm not totally sold on. First, this coaster accessory, I think that's actually pretty cool. Definitely keeping that, matches the outside of my car. There's also this gear shifter knob, which is blue. I kind of wish it was more blue like the color of the car. And then I've got this one here. And it's a really easy install. It's just, if I pull hard, it'll come off. It's just like some double-sided tape, and it fits right on there. There are a few different colors if that's something you're looking for. I also added a screen protector here. Like, listen, I know it's not protecting the screen from a lot of stuff, but I got, you know, kids, my wife, rings, you know, I just don't want this screen to get scratched by something. So it's really easy to put on, fairly inexpensive. They make one for this screen as well. I didn't bother installing that one because I mean, nobody touches that. But this one, you know, why not give this another layer of protection? I took it off, but you know, I like this carbon fiber right here, and I thought it'd be cool because I saw this carbon fiber switch cover. I installed it, but I ended up taking that off. It just didn't fit perfectly for me, and it was, you know, like a different kind of carbon fiber. So if I could find like a more matte finish, I would do that to go over these window switches. I mean, it was like 25 bucks. Some people like that shiny carbon fiber, and I know Chris's interior is a little bit different. So it wouldn't be, you know, I feel like it was trying to be match, and it wasn't matching. So if you're looking for something different, that it's kind of cool, but it didn't work for me.
Number 10, don't drive around with dealer license plate holders. Get a new one.
Another thing I did right away is change the license plate cover. I hate the dealer installed cover. Like, I don't want to be a walking billboard for them. So I got a pretty basic one with a little Mustang logo on it. Chris has a custom one that he kind of designed the words on it for his Mach-E. So yeah, you can do that. Plus, you know, if you have to have a front license plate, there are plenty of no drill options. You don't want to drill into that bumper. I think the front of this car looks really nice. So, you know, I'll leave a link to one of those. I personally didn't put one on. The state of Illinois requires it, but nobody really seems to care. I think that law is changing or has been talked about to be changed. So, you know, you can see if you can get away with it. Or if you really need that front plate, don't drill into that bumper, man. Get one of those no drill options. We'll leave some links to some of the stuff that we have, and you can figure it out yourself.
Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you're looking for any of these things,
Check out the description below and subscribe so you don't miss another video from Half Chrome.